Project this November 1st, 2014, coming to you live from the Fortified Compound in Mesa, Arizona, where if you challenge the Mesa police officers on proving that the laws they enforce every day actually apply to you, you too can be considered a domestic threat to officer safety and stalked. But welcome back, everybody. I'm glad to be here on the Liberty Radio Network. We're here live every Saturday from 4 to 7 Eastern Standard Time on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM. Got a lot of stuff to get to, but do want to get to your calls, so I'll get that number out. It is 218-632-9399, 218-632-9399. You can also contact me on Skype. I'm at Frank Rizzo 3, and I can put you into the No State Project chat, which we got 285 active members there. Well, not everyone's on every day, but we got a pretty good group. So if you're being attacked by a bureaucrat, by all means, we do the best we can, do role-playing and whatnot, which I highly encourage. So contact me at Frank Rizzo 3. It is, of course, November 1st, so it's only 2 weeks away from the Libertopia 2014 in San Diego. It's going to be the Town and Country Resort Hotel. It's a great venue. It's a great time from the 13th through the 16th. The big show will be live from Libertopia. I think it always has been. So definitely tune in for that. Next week's show, though, is not going to be live. I will be out of town, but it is going to be epic. We are going to be bringing Bill Bupert back. Again, it's going to be recorded, so please keep that in mind, so don't stay on the caller line. That'll be the November 8th show, next week. It'll be all new material. Of course, Bill Bupert, his website, zerogov.com. And he's done a fantastic job. He had a series of articles on that I've mentioned on here on the show before. Series of articles on police brutality, and it's well worth the time to go research, to go look at that. And his latest is the imbecilic notion of limited government by Bill Bupert. And I like what he's got on here. He's quoting Brad Spangler. Anarchists are the hard-nosed realist. People who have this fixation on some ideal government, which is fundamentally just a criminal gang with flags, are the starry-eyed dreamers without a firm grasp on reality. So can't agree more. So definitely check out zerogov.com and join us here on the No State Project next week here on LRN.FM, where we have Bill Bupert on again. Couple things to get to here before we get to calls, but I definitely want to hear from you at 218-632-9399. I don't think that this Jake Hun is Jeremy. He's got some other issues that he's taking up. If you go to markstevens.net, he's left a flurry of comments here. And I do want to say that thanks to the host being as less than optimal performance, the website was down for at least a day during the week, which that always has its problems there. But the site was down, so I was not able to moderate or approve the comments. Now, if you put a comment in and you've never done it before, I usually have to approve that. For whatever reason, I don't know. But I approve them. I go on every day, and I approve the comments. If you've been on comment before, but you have a link in there, generally because of the spam block, I have to okay the ones that are linked. There was someone that wrote almost a complete book. I approved every single one, and so Jake, after he had posted these, they weren't appearing, and he mentioned, and if you filter/moderate these comments away, shame on you. These are real, legit, earnest questions that will improve you either way. And as Jake must know already, they did get posted. I posted all of the comments, and I want to discuss that because I don't want to say he's the comments. I seem they seem legit and everything. It's just I don't know. I almost get maybe. It's not the easiest thing in the world to navigate the website. There's a tremendous amount of information on the website, and maybe he's just doing things based on looking at the website and has not listened to the radio show, because if you listen to the radio show regularly, that's where a lot of these questions are answered. And so what he's doing is he's posting based on this, where congrats Duran, where his ticket was kicked out in Washington, D.C., and we did it based on the tactic was their premises or their argument. Of course, as we've heard over 9,000 times here on the No Stay Project, it's kind of like I just keep pressing that one key: jurisdiction, jurisdiction, jurisdiction. But apparently, he's not listening to the radio show. But I did put in there that Duran did get the motion to dismiss from me. It was kicked out. It was a little ambiguous on why it was kicked out, but they did say it was kicked out because there wasn't enough evidence. So since the motion is based on a lack of evidence, it stands to reason that that's why it was kicked out. And I think I probably even mentioned here on the show, it may have had nothing to do with the motion. It could be just it's a coincidence. Yes, you filed a motion to dismiss based on lack of evidence, and it was thrown out for lack of evidence. But that doesn't mean it had anything to do. You can't prove it had anything to do with the motion because the judge never said. And, okay, all right. I think that's strange credulity, but I accept it. It's possible, just not very probable. So when we go down, it says, why do you not point out that you consulted him? Why do you not point out how you consulted him to do it? Well, I have instructions on the motion, and I've got I've got videos, and I do the radio show. I make it very clear that what you're doing is you're always keeping the burden of proof on the prosecutor who's ever making the argument. You keep the burden of proof on them. You only ask questions, and you go through the Socratic method. You want to just verify that this is their position, and then ask your why and how questions, like the IRS example that I have on the Call of Shame from this a couple of weeks ago, where he said that the facts that prove the Constitution applied were the wage reported income. And then I asked him, okay, it is the Socratic method, so let me just make sure that we're on the same page here. You're saying that the wage reported income proves the Constitution applies to Chris. Yep, okay. Now we're on the same page, and now you just ask your why and your how questions. Well, why does that prove? Why does this information, this financial document, why does that, or how does that prove that the Constitution applies to him? And eventually he said, I don't know. So the tactic, I'm very clear on the show and in the articles. It's a very simple tactic. People have even gone so far, because we talked about it so much, Jake. They've dubbed it the Democratic method, that we're just asking questions in a Socratic way, and to show that the arguments that these people have and that they rely on, that they're willing to kill you for, that they got nothing. They have absolutely no factual support whatsoever. So maybe if I don't do that with every single article, it's because it's a main theme of the show. It's let the facts speak. Whatever the facts say, stay on point. Don't allow them to gaslight you. Keep the burden of proof on them. I can't. I go through this with non-entity. I'm like, how can I repeat myself every single show? Because not everyone's listening to every show, and not everyone is listening to the show. They could just go to, the website, and maybe they're not getting it all. And so maybe if the website's not set up easy enough, maybe that's my fault. But I say it enough. So he says, why is it that every one of the success stories always has some other factor that makes the strategy inconclusive in its effectiveness? Well, the strategy is effective, period, because it's very effective to ask questions, keep the burden of proof on them. Whether you go into court and somebody is honest and forthcoming and does the right thing is different than the strategy's effectiveness. Asking questions is effective, just the fact that you're posting something on the internet is testament to how effective it is to question things and go by the evidence. That's all I'm talking about doing. It's not some magical thing that I made up. It's not these patriot gurus. Oh, I've been hitting the code and I figured it out. Don't put your name in all caps and put this is what you do. You put a semicolon and then a colon and then a dash, and they'll leave you alone. That's not what I'm doing here. The effectiveness of the strategy is proven over and over again because that's how you get these questions answered. That's how you show that someone's argument is completely fallacious, by asking questions. So the strategy of asking questions is effective. But we'll discuss this some more when we come back here on the No State Project. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a moment.